What's up, everybody? Well, today I am here to bring to you another vacuum that is in my vacuum collection. What I have for your viewing pleasure today is another Hoover Elite. I've said this once before in many videos, and I will say it again, especially for those who are just tuning in and found my channel by clicking on this video or many of my other videos, or for those of you who watch my videos without checking source material. But I love Hoover Elites. They are my most favorite vacuum, and they are the vacuum lineup that actually got me into vacuums, as well as vacuum collecting later on. And they are just some of my favorite cleaners. And I always try to snatch one up whenever a good looking one comes across my path. And what I have today is another example of an Elite. What I have is a Hoover Turbopower 2000. This is one of many of the Elites to have the Turbopower name on it. And this is not an actual Turbopower. The real Turbopowers were that UK made Hoover that was very, very briefly sold here in the US, albeit I think for like 1 or 2 years, as the Hoover Sovereign. But that's a totally different vacuum, long before the Elite was introduced. But the Turbopower lineup, as it rebadged many of Hoover's vacuums at the time, most notably the Elite, some of the S-Type Futura Power Max canisters. It even rebadged the Hoover Wind Tunnel and a bunch of other cleaners here and there. But the Turbopower lineup was specific to Hoover dealers, and a couple of department stores carried these at the time. I do believe Sears was one of them. But this is actually the entry-level hardbag Elite in the Turbopower lineup. There was another Turbopower 1500, which was the softbag version. And then there was also a Turbopower 3000 of the time, which essentially was this, but with the more deluxe side mount tool set, as well as a handle-mounted power switch. There was also a Turbopower 4000, which was the Legacy Supreme version, which had the deluxe Legacy style tool caddy with the tool door on the side and the 2 wands. There was a rare Turbopower 3500, which was the Dimension style, and a bunch of others that they eventually refined as the lineup progressed. The 2000 originally was the hard bag, but then it later became the Hoover Turbopower 1700, same style hard bag that they would eventually, because that Turbopower 2000 of that time eventually became the Hoover Caddyvac. Then the Turbopower 3000 became the 2200, and I think that one came with the side mount stretch hose and the handle mounted switch, and so many others that I could go for hours and hours and hours on, but we don't have time for that right now. Let's get back to the subject at hand. I bought this vacuum for like half off for only $8 at Goodwill in my area, and the vacuum was in overall very good shape. I was nearly about ready to pass it up because I was trying to budget and save money, but unfortunately, when it comes to Hoover Elites, I can't help myself. So, and despite the fact that I got this for a very good deal, was all the more exciting. Of course, you know, if I see an Elite out in the wild, I don't think twice. I'm buying that thing. It is coming home with me. Because who knows, it may suffer a more worse fate. It got into the hands of someone who's careless and didn't know how to take care of them. But anyway, regardless, it is in my hands. It's all cleaned up, serviced, and ready to go once again and reside in my collection. So let's go ahead and give a walkthrough of the cleaner. This is one of the more basic versions, so it just has the standard handle grip. But you will notice, this being one of the more entry-level, more budget-friendly versions of the Elite, it does have the wraparound hose caddy, which is connected right here. It wraps around the top and is connected right down here on the other side. And I'm going to show you the tool caddy right here. This is the standard single wand style tool caddy. And you have your dusting brush mounted on top here, crevice tool, upholstery tool, and all. You have right here your Turbopower 2000 lettering on the front. And you also will notice, like etched into the plastic, is a little Hoover symbol, which is a very nice touch of detail Hoover did on these hard bag machines back in the day. And to get access to your inner bag on these things, there's a little latch here at the top that you pull to release the bag door, and it pops right off. Inside, you do have your Hoover Type A bag. I am currently running a HEPA cloth bag in this for increased filtration, and it definitely filters out much better than the genuine paper bags do of the time. They're just amazing. So let's go ahead and hinge this guy back on. You also do have a little stair cleaning handle that you can hold down here to use this vacuum to clean uncarpeted stairs. Then as we come down here, you have your typical square hood Hoover Elite design, which, from my understanding, all of the Hoover Elites under the Turbopower name were all square hood models. Even the Softbag 1500, Turbopower 1500 was also a square hood. I've never seen a T-shaped hood Turbopower, so as far as I'm aware, all of them are square hood. But it's not a major deal. They actually do look very nice and sleek compared to the T-shaped hood, but I've always preferred that style because it has a little bit more character over this, in my opinion. But right here you do have your 4-position carpet height adjustment. I always like to leave it on the middle for the pile of this carpet. You have here your cleaning tool port right here. You could flip this up to use your tools right there. You also do have brushed edge cleaning on both sides. And one interesting thing I love about these Turbopower Elites is that they have very unique font on the hood that's a little bit different than what you see on a traditional model. It has this nice little, like, almost gold lettering on that really contrasts this black color really nice. And you can definitely notice on the front right here are these Hoover Turbopower 2000s in bright gold like that. You have your brushed edge cleaning and nice blue outlining, and it uses only 7.2 amps in the motor. And cleaning effectiveness per amp is rated at 17. This does not mean anything. This was just Hoover's famous marketing technique back in the day to make vacuums look prettier on the shelf while also giving them different price tags so people would gravitate towards the higher end models. And underneath here is the brush roll. This is the original brush roll that this came with, and surprisingly it is in very good shape. The bristles still have a nice bit of length to them, and they're nice and stiff. Per my service, I took this thing apart and greased the bearings on both sides, so this thing is fully ready to go. And this thing definitely cleans excellent. I love these full-length bristle Elites with the 4-wire rug plate. They just leave much better lines than the base models do with the 3 plastic bar plate. And let's go ahead and turn this thing on its back to show you the model number of the cleaner. This is Hoover cleaner model U5073-930, 120 volts, 60 hertz, 7.2 amps. Bag type is A, and it's a Series B style motor, which is a little bit different design compared to the early. And the belt type on this is 38528-027. Serial number on this is 0597. So if any of you who don't know how to serial date these, the first 2 digits decode the month, 3rd and 4th decodes the year. So 05 of 97 would mean this was made in May of 1997 by the Hoover Company of North Canton, Ohio, for household use only, made in the USA. That is one thing I love about these old Hoovers, is that they are US made. I think that says a lot about the quality, even though these weren't the best built vacuums and may have been made of predominantly cheap plastic. It still surprisingly holds up better than a lot of their competition did at the time. So that is one nice thing. So let's go ahead and plug this guy in. I'm going to be plugging into the middle of my bedroom because, unfortunately, because this does not have the longest of cord, being that it is a budget-friendly model, I would rather get the entire vacuuming scene all in one take, so that's that. But anyway, right down here you do have your side-mounted power switch, which is a plastic rod that runs down into where our main rocker switch is in the valley of the motor. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on, and we'll give you a demo of this machine running. Now, typical Elite fashion, this thing is pretty loud when it's running, so headphone users or those with sensitive hearing, I would advise turning down your volume for this portion of the video. So, here we go. Look at that, it propels itself. That's just how powerful the agitation of these things are. is a very smooth runner. And before we end the video, let's go ahead and demonstrate this in tool mode. So let's go ahead and release the hose. Flip up the little attachment door, and the hose will simply just slide in like that. Because this vacuum is direct air, do not expect miracle suction out of these guys. Direct air vacuums are known to produce more airflow than suction. But from my experience of using these, I find that the wraparound hose models, because their hose is a little bit wider than that of the side mount ones, even the plastic ones, they seem to have better tool airflow as a result. Plus I like the little curved end on these guys. Let's go ahead and reattach everything. That. Clamp the hose in like that. I always like to wrap these around the top, because I find that they do a little bit better than that, because I feel like when you wrap them around the back, like most do, it kind of flops around in the back. So as such, I like to do it up in the front so you avoid that issue. But there you go. Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this video on the Hoover Turbopower 2000. Be sure and stay tuned, and don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.